Conversations. I'm here with Brent Douglas. My name is Lee Damon from the University of Washington. This is an unusual conversation in that we're going to chat for maybe 10 minutes or so. Brent was a first-time attendee at the LISA conference last week, and I asked him to join me here and maybe give me some of his thoughts and maybe some insight for other first-time attendees for next year's conference. Hi, Brent. Welcome very much.
Hey, Lee. Thanks for having me.
So first, what got you to want to go to this conference?
So it was actually in January when my manager at Fred Hutchinson, which is where I work, and he recommended I go to this LISA conference, and I never heard of it before. And I started looking at it, and I didn't think I was actually interested at first, to be honest. And then he reminded me well, I think 3 weeks before I had to actually go, and the conference was actually going to be starting, and made my reservations. I looked far more into it and the kind of workshops, the conferences, the training, and actually it turned out to be really cool as far as the topics that were being taught, or actually more just overview, because the whole program is a total scattershot of information.
Welcome to the fire hose, as they say.
Yeah, exactly. But it was really good. I really enjoyed it, and yeah, once I actually finally, since LISA 15 this year was in DC, once I landed and got everything settled, I was a lot more comfortable with the whole deal.
So what would you say of the three primary tracks that we talk about, the workshops, the training, and the technical conference, or the oh, I've forgotten what the official marketing word for it is, so I'll just keep calling it what I've been calling it for a long time, the technical conference. What would you say was the most interesting to you as a first-time attendee?
Well, to be honest, I actually only went to the trainings. I did get the silver passport, and I did sign up for workshops, but unfortunately the workshops, which I found out were the same time as the training times, and so I opted just to hang on to the training and go to those. The conferences, unfortunately, I'm not sure. I didn't know the details if the Silver Passport only allowed you to do the training or the conference and or the workshop, and then of course attend the expo, or or you're able to actually attend both, but I believe that's the gold passport.
Yeah, the gold passport includes everything. I don't remember how the silver passport works. It's a 3-day or a 6-day, or if it's training only or what. Definitely something to check into if you're interested in doing the conference program, as a little bird tells me it's called. Probably worth going with the gold pass, because that gives you the most flexibility, and you can do anything at the conference, and you don't have to pre-register for specific tutorial offerings, although obviously we would like you to, so that we know how many people are going to be in the room. It's better if you tell us that you're coming, obviously. You know, as anyone who's ever hosted a party knows, you want people to tell you that they're coming. But the Gold Pass gives you great flexibility if you say, oh, I didn't know this was going to happen, and you can, trundle over to that room instead. So you were there the whole week, is that right?
Unfortunately, I was only attending the conference or training for Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, and checked out the expo on Wednesday. The rest of the time, Thursday, and then I left Friday, I actually just took the time and sightsee Washington, D.C. It's a beautiful city, and yeah.
It is also a very long week, and we're all very tired by the end of it. So any advice you would give to a first-time attendee for this conference?
I would say if you're planning, well, it depends on the city, but pretty much from what I gather from LISA 14, which was in Seattle, and then pretty much any LISA event is going to be in a huge city, so have some good insoles and wear great shoes, and bring an umbrella. Majorly bring an umbrella. Bring some extra cash so you can always get a water bottle and snacks, I mean,
Hmm.
sure, the hotel or wherever the LISA conference venue is being held at, there are going to be caterers and stuff like that, but there's only be certain times when there's actual food. If you're like me, I like to eat a lot, so yeah, bring your snacks, bring your money, and just really have a good time. Really bring an open mind, and be prepared to take a lot of notes because you're not going to remember squat if you don't.
Yeah, well, one of the nice things about the training sessions, of course, is that we give you that USB key that has a majority of the training materials on it. Sometimes the instructors don't want the material made available to everyone, but that's very, very few and very far between. Generally, we have all of the training material, and so anyone who signs up for any of the training gets the full set of the training material, even if they don't attend the specific class. That's quite useful. I definitely agree on the good shoes. Also, keep in mind you're going to be sitting in a room where somebody is going blah, 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 blah at you a lot. So being awake is good if you have certain rituals that you follow to wake up. It's always a good idea. Hotel coffee is hotel coffee. Um, and in my case, hotel tea is hotel tea. So if you're at all picky about any of that, you might want to plan ahead for that. Any other thoughts on the conference that was, or suggestions for newcomers of what else they should be paying attention to?
So when I first went into the Marriott, which was the hotel that the LISA conference was being held, I had no clue as far as the where to go. I had to ask around. Even the LISA people that were setting up or behind the booths didn't even know because they set up like 2 days prior, and so I was asking like, "Oh, where's this or where's that?" And I had to ask a few people. And since the Marriott is a huge place, and with escalators inside the hotel, I really had a tough time. But once you finally uh, find your place and find kind of where the flow of the conference or training is being held, it'll be a lot easier. So pretty much plan on being there half an hour before the training or conference, just to not have a stressful time looking for where you need to be at.
Well, one thing that we probably need to advertise a little better, and I guess now we're doing so, is that USENIX uses Guidebook, and so you can download the entire conference guide before you even get to the hotel, and spend a few minutes looking at the hotel map, looking at the schedule for at least the first couple of days that you're there, just to get yourself oriented in what general direction you're traveling. You don't have to spend a lot of time studying it because studying guidebooks is kind of boring, but at least finding out where the main conference venue parts is can be done through guidebook in advance, and that's a wonderful enhancement that we've added the last couple of years. Previously, you had to wait till you got there to get your piece of paper that had the schedule and the maps and everything, and we still hand those out. I don't know if that's going to be the case next year or not, because guidebook has been pretty reasonable, so they may decide that we don't want to kill any more trees. Hard to say. I'm not on that decision committee, thankfully. Um, but if you're coming new, or even if you're coming back, download Guidebook and get the app and get the map and the conference agenda on your phone before you start. Definitely a useful thing. And look for LISA or USENIX signage when you walk into the hotel. Usually there's signs near the registration for the hotel that point in the direction of badge pickup and stuff. Some hotels don't let us do that. So sometimes we can't be as advertised as we would like. Any last minute thoughts before we go?
No, that's pretty much it. And actually, one thing is to book your, if you're actually trying to decide or on the fence to decide, really decide actually a few weeks in advance because the classes do fill up pretty fast.
Yes, the popular classes can be very hard to get into. My general rule of thumb is book your hotel as soon as you hear you might be going. You can cancel the hotel a lot easier than you can book it late. And also booking it late costs you more because our room block is full, and so you pay the full hotel rate. Um, Travel is not quite so easy because airfare is hard to get refunded, but at the very least you can get your hotel booked early. Well, I want to thank you very much for joining me. For those watching this, there will be 2 more of these. We'll be hoping to chat with at least 2 new attendees, 2 new as in they were new this year, get some more insights from them as well. And our regular November event will be a special one, but I don't want to steal the thunder, so we will leave you hanging with that. Thanks, Brent, and we'll talk to you all later. Have a great evening.
You too.